webinar. Thank you so much for attending. My name is Abigail Wheeler. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions for University of California, Riverside School of Business, home of the A. Gary Anderson Graduate School of Management. Tonight, I'm just going to welcome you in and share with you a few slides, a little bit of information about University of California, Riverside, and then I'm going to pass it off to our lovely moderator and panelists, our School of Business graduate students representing each one of our programs. So let's discover a little more about UC Riverside, a place where your dreams can come true. Of course, University of California, Riverside is a part of the University of California, or UC system. We have 280,000 students and nearly 2 million alumni. Why is this important? Well, because this is your network. You have the same access to resources as students and alumni across the UC system. A little bit about UC Riverside. UCR is a university on the rise. We've been ranked #1 in social mobility for the last 3 years. We are part of the 1% of world-class universities worldwide, and we're a best value institution. So we are well worth your money, have good return on investment. Now, in real estate, people might tell you location is everything. That is no different when it comes to pursuing a graduate school of management, and especially a school of business. UC Riverside, of course, is located in Riverside, which is in sunny Southern California. It's about 1 hour east of Los Angeles. We call ourselves the heart of the Inland Empire, which our county is the 10th most populous county in the US. We are a hub for supply chain and logistics. So that's a really great place to be when you want to learn about supply chain, logistics, business, and management. We've also been ranked #19 for best cities in the US to grow a business. Great for anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur. And we have some great proximity to major destinations, as well as easy access to international airports. I'm going to go ahead and share with you a lovely video from Riverside so that you can see a little bit of the sights and sounds of where we're located. Welcome to Riverside, and we can't wait to officially welcome you in the fall into one of our specialty masters in business programs, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off right now to our moderator for the evening, Victoria, who's a representative from our MBA program, to tell you a little bit about what you're going to expect tonight, and introduce to you the rest of our panelists. Victoria.
Thank you, Abigail. Thank you for that introduction. My name is Victoria Guidry, and I will be your moderator today. A little bit about me is I'm a first-year MBA student with a concentration in marketing. I graduated my bachelor's here at UCR in economics, which is really nice because then right after I just continued my MBA. So if anyone has any questions about the MBA program, please don't hesitate to put it into the chat or in the Q&A so we can answer those at the end, okay? And so now enough about me, let's do a brief introduction of our panelists.
Hey everyone, good evening and thanks for coming. My name is Seth Freeman. I got an undergraduate degree in applied mathematics and a minor in statistics, and I am currently a master's of finance student at UCR.
Hi everyone, my name is Jesse. I am a recent graduate from the MPAc program here at UC Riverside, and I'm here to provide you some information that you'll need to apply to the master's program of your choice.
Hi, my name is Florian. I have a bachelor's in business administration and I already have a master's of finance back in Europe, and I am the vice chief ambassador for AGSM Business School, and I'm here to tell you some things about the MSBA program.
Thank you for those introductions. Now we'll go on to our first question for our panelists. How did you determine that a specialty master in business was right for you?
For me, the question was not whether I'm taking an MBA or an MSBA. For me, I was working in product management at a bank in Europe, and we were talking a lot about saving data, collecting data, and we didn't have the specialized knowledge as to how to treat data and how to work with data, how to derive decisions from that. And during my research and how I'm going to be able to learn these things, the MSBA program here at UC Riverside stood out because of the different ways you can concentrate in that. I'm going to talk about that later, but that's how I got into the program.
For me, a little background about myself. My undergrad, I studied psychology and creative writing. After I graduated, I had issue finding a career that I would be happy with. And so I took a bunch of odd jobs here and there. I was working in the mailroom of a firm in downtown LA when someone in the tax department took an interest in me, and that's what I wanted to help out in their department. So while working there, I became interested in the world of accounting and decided I wanted to go back to school to study it. And I needed a program that would welcome non-accounting majors into their program, give me an opportunity to network, and wouldn't break my bank.
So after graduating with my math degree, I thought I'd go back to school and get a more business and industry focused degree, a master's degree. And my overall aspiration is to become an actuary. And to do this, you need a strong understanding of business, finance, and mathematics, as well as statistics. And I lack the business and finance for this career. So I contacted a professor here at UCR by the name of Gene Helwich, who informed me that the Master's of Finance was a degree I should pursue to continue my education and studying for my future career goals.
Thank you, panelists, for those great answers. On to our next question. Describe the application process and any requirements for your particular program.
For the application process for the MPAc program is split into two tracks. Track 1 is for students with prior accounting education background from undergraduate studies. Track 2 is for students like me who came from a non-accounting or business education background. For both tracks, you'll need the typical resume or CV, statement of purpose, and letter of rec. But the main difference between track 1 and track 2 is you'll need to take 2 prerequisite courses, financial accounting and auditing.
So the Master of Finance application is quite similar to the rest of the specialty degrees application. The only thing I'd like to add is that there are no tracks, but you can take certain classes as electives approved by your advisor that are classes for the MBA or the MSBA. And so you do get a feel for other specialty masters if you wanted to. And I'd also like to mention the Master's of Finance is a STEM-oriented degree, so it is helpful to have a quantitative background, but is not necessary.
For the MSBA, it is pretty similar regarding the requirements in terms of CV, letter of recommendation, statement of purpose, those things. We have two different tracks and 3 different concentrations. The 2 different tracks depend on your previous undergraduate education. If you have a statistics background, you will be working here in the business track, where you're going to be learning a lot more about business than a business background. And the business and STEM undergraduates are going to learn more about the statistics side of business analytics, so that at the end of the program, you're well versed in both business and statistics and have therefore, on both sides, you'll have knowledge.
Thank you for those thorough answers. I encourage everyone to please don't forget to write down your questions in the chat or in the Q&A so we can answer them later. Okay, on to our third question. What kind of jobs/careers are open to you through your degree?
So for the finance or the Master's of Finance degree, and if you take all the required courses and you stick to their approved electives, it opens up career paths in corporate finance, investment banking, and risk management specifically. And within those industries, you have specific jobs, which are Chartered Financial Analyst, abbreviated CFA, and Chartered Financial Planner, which is CFP. So if you're interested in any of those two, the degree is very specified towards those industries and jobs. But you can also tailor your degree by taking the other elective courses, as I mentioned earlier.
As I mentioned, the MSBA program has 3 different concentrations. We have marketing, supply chain management, and finance. And depending on what concentration you choose, obviously, you'll get a different field of jobs that opens up for you. But these 3 concentrations basically cover everything business analytics. So you could work in marketing analytics, you could work as a financial analyst, you could work in process optimization and supply chain and all those things. So depending on what you want, you of course choose in which direction you're going, but the MSBA program has got you covered for all of those opportunities.
For the MPAc program here at UC Riverside is heavily designed towards preparing students to become auditors for a public accounting firm, but that's not necessarily the only career path available with this degree. You could go into taxation like I have, or you can go into private nonprofit or government sectors. There are various professional organizations on campus that bring recruiters from public accounting firms, recruiters from IRS or California Franchise Tax Board. So you get a little taste of what career path is available to you. Some of my fellow classmates have gone on to become auditors, tax accountants, or financial analyst positions.
Okay, thank you for those answers. And for our final question, what technical skills are you learning in your program, and how will these skills set you up for success in your career?
The technical skills that you learn in the MSBA program also depend on your background. If you don't have a statistics background, then that's definitely a technical skill that they're going to teach you. That might even start before your first day of classes here at UC Riverside, because there might be some prerequisites that you should take before that. That depends on your background. In addition to that, you definitely learn the basics of coding. There are several classes that will teach you the basics of computational statistics and other things, and will therefore prepare you for your job in business analytics.
So for the MPAc program, some technical skills that you might be able to gain through the program is, since it's heavily audit based, you get experience auditing like a company's financial statement through different various case studies that professors have prepared for you. You'll gain some teamwork abilities, as a lot of coursework are done in teams. You'll get very familiar with Excel and flowchart documentation. You'll get some research abilities where you'll have to research, where there'll be case studies where you get a chance to look up various GAAP rules and regulations through the official FASB webpage.
It's a great question, Victoria. So from my personal experience, you've become well versed in Excel. I think the classes are heavily Excel based. If you're familiar with regression, that is majority of what we do. We're predicting returns from the market and from stocks. And then depending on the classes you take, you actually might be able to get experience in an electronic trading platform of your choice, depending on the classes. And then finally, I'd also like to just say in a general technical point of view is you also gain a strong understanding in financial management and the importance of the time value of money, and an in-depth relationship between risk and return. Thank you.
Okay, that was our last question. Now I'm going to pass it off to Tamara, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the specialty masters. Don't forget to think about those questions for our Q&A session at the end and write them in the chat.
Great. Thanks so much, Victoria and Seth, Florian, and Jesse for giving us just a little bit of your perspective on each of these graduate programs. So I'm going to go ahead and briefly talk about each of our programs, give me just a second. Okay, there we go. So as Abby has already said, we are part of the University of California, Riverside School of Business, home of the A. Gary Anderson. And so just really briefly, let's talk about the master of all of our master programs, super quick. So of course, we do have an MBA program, which is a 2-year program. It is STEM designated. And then we have our 1-year specialty masters that all of these ambassadors are from. Our Master of Finance, Master of Professional Accountancy, and then our Master of Science and Business Analytics. And again, these are all STEM designated. We have approximately 590, just under 600 students in all of these programs. You know, this is the thing I love about that is we're actually considered a small graduate business program. You'll find many that are over 1,000 students. And what makes, I think, our program great is that we really are a small community. We are really more like family than anything else. Everybody is there to make sure that you are successful, from your fellow classmates to staff and faculty. And as I've already said, all of our programs are STEM designated for our international students. That will allow you up to 3 years of OPT to legally work in the US. So let's talk, excuse me, about our Master of Finance. This program is pretty rigorous. It can be a fairly quick program. You can do it in 9 months. We are on the quarter system. So we have fall, winter, and spring. Doing it on the quarter system in over 9 months makes you taking 4 classes per quarter. Now, for some of you, you're kind of like, wow, that's kind of a heavy load. It kind of is, but it's very doable if you want to do that. You could extend it an additional quarter. That way you're only taking 3 classes per quarter, which, you know, makes it a little bit nicer, a little bit slower, not taking as many classes. Excuse me. This will train you for many different types of career options. You can go and be a chartered financial analyst. You know, those CFAs, they make a lot of money, so think about that. Certified financial planner. Now, some of our students have gone into corporate finance, risk management, asset management, quantitative research. You can see kind of a theme here. It's very quant heavy. We do look at students' transcripts pretty closely. We're going to look at those finance classes that you've taken, and we will assess your application really based on those classes as well. So because it's heavy quant, we do say you probably want an undergraduate major from business, math, statistics, econ, something else that's very quantitative heavy. Some neat things that we offer, of course, is Bloomberg terminal training. We have a great Highlander financial group. Now, I think this is kind of cool. We had an alum that actually gave real money to this group so they could invest it and get that real life experience. I think that's kind of a cool option, right? So again, it can be 9 to 15 months, STEM designated, and it is a 48-unit program. So let's talk a little bit about the Master Professional Accountancy. You know, Jesse already mentioned that he wasn't from an accounting undergraduate major, and he was still able to come in. So we have 2 tracks that you can choose from. Of course, the first track is somebody that does have an accounting background. They're going to have some of those prerequisites that you're going to need in order to make sure you're successful in the program. Okay, what about those of you that don't have that? You're going to come in and you're going to do some of those prereqs and then go into the graduate program. So I think this is great. You know, I talk to students all the time that come from backgrounds like Jesse that's not accounting. And I'm always puzzled, like, well, that's not what you went to school for. But like Jesse said, he was having a hard time finding a job and found, you know, that he really kind of liked accounting, so came back. This program actually was designed with Ernst & Young to make sure that our students were completely prepared to go out into their career field and be successful. Gives you all the credit hours you need to sit for the CPA exam. Now, I think this is a pretty neat fact. Our grads that have taken the CPA exam have all passed in their first try. That's a pretty amazing feat. Again, this one is a 9 to 15 month program, 48 units, and STEM designated. Our brand new Master of Science and Business Analytics that Florian is a part of is so exciting for us because We started it this year, and we had a lot of applicants for it, and we were very, very choosy. So good job getting in, Florian, on the individuals that we brought in, because we again wanted to make sure that you are successful in the program. So we were looking very, very closely at transcripts and what kind of background you had. Well, now, as Florian said, we have this other track that you can go into, which is really exciting for students that might not have all those undergraduate classes, but they have like a STEM designated background that they're going to be able to still come in. Okay, everybody, think about it. Every single company now wants analytics, right? Popular, high demand career field. So the other thing is there are 3 different career tracks that you can take. So, maybe you want to go into financing route or operations, maybe marketing. So this determines the kind of electives that you're going to take. So I think it's amazing that we do offer these different opportunities. Additionally, there are 2 capstones. And I think that's cool because, you're taking what you're learning, you're applying it, say, do I get it or do I not get it? Curriculum components, statistical computing, testing models for improving operational efficiency, forecasting revenues, identifying trends in the financial market. So there's some really neat things involved in this particular program. I will tell you right now, we have received a record number of applications for this program. It's competitive to get in. We're excited. Our class is going to be a really exciting and vibrant class for this next year. So we're kind of excited about that. 9 to 15 months, 48 units, STEM designated. All 3 of our programs are like that. All right, so now you know a little bit about the programs. You've heard from our students and alum about specific things drilling down into the program. What does it take to apply? Super easy to apply to our program. It is an online application. All you need is your resume, okay? You will need your unofficial transcripts and degree certificate if you've already graduated. If you haven't, that comes, of course, after. Eventually, you're going to need to send us official, but right now, unofficial is fine. Don't pay for those official ones. You only need to do 1 essay. So inside the application, there's a spot for 2 different essays, but we only need 1 from you. A statement of purpose. Tell us a little story about you. We want to get to know who you are. How did you get where you are today? Maybe you were a first-gen student. What motivated you to come and get an undergraduate degree? Why do you want to get a graduate degree? Why UCR? We want to know who you are, okay? Your reference, letter of reference. All you need is their name and contact information. Now, we only require 1. So is it better to get more? If you'd like, you most certainly can. We will read every single one that comes in. So think about that, but you are only required to have 1. Right now, because of course, everything that's been going on in the world, we are test optional for your GMAT or GRE. Now, does it make you a little bit more competitive if you take it? It does. Does it mean you won't get admitted if you don't take it? Not at all. It is just one of those things, kind of your personal preference. Maybe your GPA is a little bit lower than what our average is. Our average is around a 3.4 to 3.5 in all of our programs. So maybe you have a 3.0, a 3.1. You might want to think about, maybe I should take the GMAT or GRE. What kind of work experience do you have? How could you offset maybe a lower GPA? However, remember, it is test optional and it will not go against you if you do not take it. Now, if you happen to be one of our international prospective students that's applying and listening, we do need an IELTS or TOEFL score. TOEFL is 80, IELTS is 7. Pretty easy, right? We are in our 3rd round. March 31 is the deadline. I say submit as soon as you can because we have scholarship money. So let's talk a little bit about scholarships. Every single incoming student will be considered for a scholarship. As soon as you're admitted into our program, our scholarship committee will actually look at you in a very holistic approach. We're going to look at everything, your scores, your resume. We do really read the letters of reference and we will read your statement of purpose. At that time, we will then consider how much money are we going to be able to fund you in a scholarship. So think about this. We're already in our round 3. We've given away quite a bit of money. Every round that goes away, our scholarship pool of money kind of goes down. So I really highly recommend trying to apply sooner rather than later. So what are some other ways you could fund your education? Well, our specialty masters unfortunately can't do a teaching assistant because it's only for second-year MBA students. However, as a first-year student, you could be a reader for a professor. You could go to other departments and see about maybe they might need a TA, or there are graduate student workers that are needed across our campus. Additionally, for international students, we do have Empower Finance and Prodigy Finance that does give loans to international students. And of course, for our domestic students, you can do FAFSA and get loans. If you're military, we do accept the GI Bill and Yellow Ribbon Bill program as well. Quick overview of our programs, just really quick. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because we are going to move on to the next phase here. I see there's been some questions, Q&A, so I'm going to hand it right back over to Victoria.
Thank you, Tamara, and thank you for all that great information. So I guess one last thing from our panelists, can you share one piece of advice you'd like to give as folks are preparing to pursue a specialty master degree? And let's start with Florian.
Well, my piece of advice for all of you is get to know your cohort, especially now during COVID. It was not the easiest task to do, to get to know all the people that are in the MSBA program, and therefore getting to know the people that you want to work with on all the projects and everything, the people you can collaborate on some tasks and all that. It's my best advice for you. Try to get to know as many people as you can, network. Those are going to be the people that might help you find a job later on. So get to know as many people as you want, prioritize first your cohort, and then branch out and get to know as many as possible. Seth, what about you?
Sure, yeah, I'll go off of that. I guess just going off a little bit what you said, I think it's really important to build a bond or a relationship with your professors, go to office hours and talk to them, they're people too. And especially this COVID thing, they teach the black screens a lot of the times. And so, they really appreciate, you engaging with them and asking questions and really trying to build on what you know. And it's okay not to know. I think that's the thing I learned recently is it's okay to be completely clueless or not know something, because that's why you're in school and that's why you're a student. You're supposed to learn and grow and not know. Jesse, you want to finish it off?
Yeah, I guess my advice would be take advantage of the resources that's available at UC Riverside. We have a lot of professional organizations that bring recruiters, so that's perfect opportunities to network.
Oh, I think we might have lost Jesse. Let's give him a minute.
Hello, am I back? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying take advantage of the resources available at UC Riverside. There's a lot of resources available, and there's professional organizations that bring recruiters, and which allows you to network with different recruiters, and obviously take advantage of the Career Center, who can help you with your resume and cover letter.
That's great. I mean, if anything, I would say just go to events like this. Go to these webinars and seminars and panels so that you can learn more and kind of get an idea of what you want to do. Okay, so now I guess we can start our Q&A session. And let's see, I have 2 questions so far. Okay, this is a great question. Do you recommend taking a gap year in between undergrad and grad to gain experience? I'll hand this question off to Florian.
Well, I did both. Between my first undergrad degree and my master in finance, I didn't take a gap year. I went straight ahead. After that, I worked in a bank for 4.5 years, and now I'm back at school. So I think it depends on how certain you are about where you want to end up and what you want to do professionally. For me, it was I had a great time working, but I knew I wanted to go in a different direction, and therefore I kind of wanted to refocus and learn things that I didn't know until then. And so if you know that you want to be in a certain direction, and then I would say go for it, go to school right away. And after you're done with school, go in the direction you want to go into. If you're not entirely sure, or you think, okay, this might be it, but well, let's see, then I suggest you go take a little bit of work and then come back to school. Depending on that, I would decide.
Okay, great. Is there any other panelists that wants to chime in on that? Maybe Jesse?
Yeah, sure. I guess for me, I agree that like a master's program is a lot of money, and I think you want to be certain what you want to do. And for me, that's why I took a gap year. And I did work at various odd jobs here and there, and it was just to discover what I want to do. And like during that process, like I was able to find that like I wanted to pursue a career in accounting, and by pursuing here at Riverside, like the cost like was justified because I know that this was a career path I want to end up in.
Okay, great. And then our next question, it says, how was your experience finding an internship / first job after receiving your, this master's, but I'm assuming bachelor's degree from UC Riverside, but let's just open that up to just in general. So how about, let's say, Seth, do you want to answer this question?
Sure. So I just graduated in June, and I was feeling the job market. I applied to companies like Raytheon and Boeing. I didn't hear back from one of them. One of them kind of called me, but I never went really past the interview stage. And I then went back to school. So we're in the process of getting internships. I'm debating whether or not to just finish off the finance degree and go to school in the summer. So I will not be attending an internship, but that's just my personal preference. I am still applying to a few, and now they're a little more finance oriented. So it's been okay. It's been a process though. Thank you.
Okay, great. And then Florian.
I'm going to chime in here. We have a great career development center that helps us with these tasks of finding a job, finding an internship. I'm doing the MSBA in 9 months, so I'm not looking for an internship. I'm looking for a job. So far, it's been going pretty good. I started the process about a month ago, and so far I did have one job that didn't go through, but that was mainly because they wanted someone earlier than June, and that's also okay to not get the job because you're not ready at the right time. I still booked that as a win. So so far I have a pretty good feeling about the job market, especially for the MSBA program. Tamara already mentioned it. We're very high in demand, and we get a lot of help from Career Development Center.
Yeah, and to add to that, there are a lot of opportunities for at least with the Master of Professional Accounting program here at Riverside. For us, like someone actually reached out to me over LinkedIn to offer me a chance to interview with their firm, and then I was able to get the job afterwards. And after that, I was like, because I got my job back in spring, so I was helping like all my classmates in fall, and some of them were able to get secure jobs as well. So I think it just depends on how much effort you put into it. I think you definitely take advantage of the resources offered by the school through the Career Center, through different professional organizations, and just network with your peers.
Okay, thank you for those great answers. And we have another question. How can I prepare for my program over the summer? So let's start with Seth.
So for the Masters in Finance, I would suggest become really comfortable with Excel, PowerPoint, basically the Microsoft Office suite. And if you have time, maybe some R and some SAS statistics, review your statistics, and have a good grasp on just any kind of math background that you might have. Or if you don't, statistics and and other low-level financial quantitative knowledge. That's how I would prepare to review those sections of education.
For me, for the MSBA program, I would say it depends on your background. If you have a stats background, try to get into the business side of all of it. Try to look at the basics of business administrations. If you have a background in business, brush up on your statistics. That's what I should have done, and then you'll be well prepared. In addition to that, there's a program. It's called Business Ready and Summer with UCR, where you're already engaging with us from UCR. There's a pretty good. You'll be led through different portions of getting into your master's program and all that. There'll be tips for housing, tips for Riverside in general, all that, and that also helps a lot.
Yeah, I guess to add to that, like as soon as you get accepted, I think you're able to access a lot of start already getting access to the resources for the program. So you can already like start applying for jobs through like Handshake, which is a resource that the CDC offers here at UC Riverside.
Okay, thank you. And so let's see, the last question is, how can I learn more? So I guess I could answer this a little bit just about the master's program in general, or just coming to a UCR or AGSM. Make an appointment, try to get in touch with a counselor, try to maybe go to this Career Development Center, just look on our website at ucr.edu/graduate/admissions. You can find all of the information there that you would need, and essentially just keep searching, keep looking, and try to make sure that you're hitting all of your marks so that you can get all the information that you can.
Another thing you guys can do is connect with an ambassador. Ambassadors are like one of our ambassadors here are more than welcome, are happy to help with any questions and concerns you guys may have.
Okay, let's see. Any more questions? It looks like we are done. Let's see. Yep, no more questions. And Tamara, I'll just hand it off to you.
Great, thanks, Victoria. So, one of the best things that you could do to learn a little bit more is to schedule a consultation with myself. We have this amazing QR code you can scan. So scan this, it takes you to my calendar. You can book a one-on-one consultation with me. Why is that important? For a couple reasons. One, I can get to know you a little bit better, but probably two, and the most important aspect of this is when it comes time for us to review for scholarships for you, the more I know about you, the more I can talk to the committee and try to secure more funding for you. This is a great opportunity for you to ask questions for us just to really get to know each other on a more personal level. So this was a great time to learn a little bit. And did it go in depth? It did not, but you wouldn't want to be here all night to go in depth either. It gave you a taste of what our specialty master's programs could be. And is it right for you? So find out more, schedule a consultation. I want to thank Seth, Jesse, Florian, and Victoria, amazing ambassador and alumni that has decided to, share their own experience in their specialty master. I do appreciate each of you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day or evening, whatever it might be, to join us here at UCR School of Business, home of the A. Gary Anderson Graduate School of Management. We look forward to seeing your application soon. We hope you all have a good evening. Please stay safe, stay well.